Good morning. Welcome to Coffee Talk Live. I'm Coach Connie, your host, and today we're talking about New Year's resolutions. Let's start at the beginning, literally the beginning. Where did the idea of New Year's resolutions come from? So, after doing a little bit of Googling and digging, I have come up with a couple of ideas and thoughts on it. So, rewind to about 4,000 years ago when the Babylonians kind of started what we understand, at least we think is a long time ago, is the idea of celebrating the new year. So 4,000 years back, they either crowned their new king or reaffirmed their loyalty to their current king and made promises to achieve whatever goals they had back then, or to pay debts and return stuff that they borrowed. So this is where it could have started. Fast forward a little bit to ancient Rome, where Julius Caesar took it upon himself to change the calendar entirely and decide that January 1st was the beginning of the new year. This is where he named it January after the god Janus, who was a two-faced god who looked into the past as well as into the future. So this is where ancient Romans offered sacrifices. I don't know what kind, but they offered sacrifices to their gods and made promises of good conduct. So you kind of see the pattern going here. Now, despite the religious roots of celebrating the new year, now people, instead of making promises to their gods, most make promises to themselves, and most are self-focused on self-improvement. And despite research showing that 45% of Americans who make New Year's resolutions, only 8% of them are successful. So that's what we are going to talk about today. So today we're going to discuss why New Year's resolutions are destined to fail, despite we are trying to do them for the last 4,000 years. What mistake moms make when they make these resolutions, and what you can do instead. So on Coffee Talk Live, this is the show where my guests and I explore what it means to live a sustainable, healthy lifestyle as moms, as women, for ourselves, in the home and in the community. So if you're watching now, do me a favor and type a good morning, type a 1 in the comments. If you're watching the replay, type a 2 or the word replay. But either way, I want to hear your thoughts, opinions, and questions in the conversation. So in real time, ask your questions, or if you're even watching later, put them down and we will get to them one way or another. So my guest today, I'm so excited to talk with her and to introduce you to her. She's also a healthy habits and fitness coach. So we really click on a lot of the same topics. We have a lot of the same ideas on health and fitness matters. She lives in Ottawa and is the owner of Fitness Integrated. So please welcome to the show my guest today, Coach Amanda Amaratunga. Good morning, Amanda.
Oh, hi, Connie. Good morning. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on today, and greetings from the other side of the border. Ottawa is some part of Canada that I haven't been in. What part of the country is it, like, close to?
We're almost kind of neighbors, Connie. We're like less than an hour from the border to upstate New York. So super close. We're closer than we think.
Yeah. Nice. I'll have to come visit sometime.
That would be nice. Come in the summer.
Yeah, same here. New York. Don't actually. I like to tell people, like, don't come in the middle of hot summer because it smells. There's a lot of us here. It's very close quarters. But also don't be here in the middle of winter because it's very, very, very cold and miserable.
I guess
so. Some happy middle, I think. So you're also a coach. You also train. Do you train just moms, just women? Who is your favorite people to work with right now?
So my people are overloaded women, which I'm sure a lot of you can identify with. So about maybe 55% of my 6% of my clients are moms, and the remainder are women who may not have children for whichever reason. So we have a good mix, but the one thing we all have in common is that we all have like a serious mental load, and have at some point struggled with their own self-care.
Right. Exactly. Kids or no kids, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's start with the easy question. What's in your cup today? Your fitness integrated branded cup.
So I have a green tea with a wedge of lemon. What have you got there, Connie?
Thanks for asking. I have coffee, to no one's surprise and shock. I actually have, I think we have something that we had to get at the grocery store because somehow we always run out of coffee, even though like I keep ordering it, I keep buying it. And I swear like, all right, this is this many ounces. We drink this much during the day, but we still end up running out. So I don't know. I think maybe I'm going to go on not like a caffeine free bender, or what's the opposite of bender? I don't know. Maybe Easter will be a good time to like cut back on the caffeine significantly, but I think the universe is telling me I need to dial it down a bit.
Take it down a notch.
We'll see. I always say that and then I'm like, no, gonna just hang on to this. Anyways, I love green tea. I think that's one of my favorite afternoon drinks because again, I love caffeine. I'm not ashamed to say it. But that kind of beverage doesn't wake me up in the morning. Do you need something like that to wake you up in the morning, or are you like one of those morning people that I keep hearing about?
I'm only a morning person because I have children now, more of a night owl. But I don't love the taste of coffee unless it's iced coffee that's got like sugar and tasty stuff in it. So I normally drink water first thing in the morning. That sort of helps me wake up. And then I have the green tea. But I'm one of those people, it takes a really long time, like a lot of women, to process caffeine. So like some people can't handle their alcohol. I can't really handle my caffeine. So I just don't drink a lot of it.
That's fair. I bet that that water tip, that's actually a really good way to start the day. Is that, I'm guessing that's one of the things that you also encourage your clients to try as well.
Yeah, it's a part of my coaching program as far as doing things as simply and efficiently as possible. It's also, water is good for us, like really we're made up of mostly water. So
right. I just had this conversation with my 3-year-old. I kept encouraging her. She had a head cold and I kept encouraging her to drink water. And she kept asking, she's in that why phase where everything's why. And I kept trying to get to like, well, you're made of water. But in my head, I'm like, how does a 3-year-old comprehend that? And it just kept getting weirder and weirder. And then I find something else to be like, oh, let's go talk about these pretzels that are sitting on the table. I don't know, like
exactly.
How do you like? I work, like we spend all day explaining to grown adults why it's important to drink water, and that's an easy one to talk about. But to tell your 3-year-old why it's important without saying because I said so, it's like that's just
right. Yeah. No.
Oh my God. Okay. So tell us, what's the, so people know who they're hanging out with today. What is the Cliff's Notes version of your life story, of your career and how you got into fitness? Because that's not the only thing you do.
No. So it's a bit of a crazy story. I have 2 careers. So I'm a veterinarian. It was my first career. I work for our federal government here in Canada, working to help control our animal health diseases. And one of the things, I've always been into fitness. My sport is distance running. So like you, I've had an interest in, following your story as well. And, I really enjoyed that. I thought I could maybe help other people, and I have a lot of responsibility. And, as a public servant, I don't represent myself. I represent the government and the people of Canada. So I needed something just for me. I also wanted to be able to swear in my own coaching practice. So I like that. Right. Got to be honest sometimes, keep it real. And so I really needed that outlet for myself and to be able to help support other women who were maybe not as further along the journey as I am. And so I started Fitness Integrated almost 10 years ago. And I started just as a personal trainer. And I found for our people, which are the overloaded women, I know you and I both work with, you work exclusively with moms, and I work mostly with moms. That just exercise wasn't enough, right? Like we see out there in the media that you need to just move more and eat less, but like that shit doesn't work with us once you get past a certain stage. Sorry for swearing. If
I'll let it out. Be your authentic
Connie.
self.
So I found as a personal trainer, though, just the exercise, the eating more, the moving less, like the advice that's out there, that didn't work for my clients. Like they would get results when they worked with me one-on-one, but I found when our time was done, they didn't have the tools to sustainably manage their weight or their lifestyle. So I got into, became a habits coach, because I think that's the foundation of keeping things simple. And also got a couple of certifications in nutrition coaching, which is, nutrition is a really big part of our results, but it's also related to how we change our behaviors with nutrition, less so about what we're actually eating, right? And so I sort of built this practice that caters to the exact problems that my overloaded women have. And then just during the pandemic, I had two kids 20 months apart, just a little insane. And I knew I needed to move my coaching business online. Because I didn't have time to drive to people's homes. I specialize in out of gym fitness solutions. So I always did coaching outside of a gym, like in the office, people's homes, hockey arena, wherever they are. And so the pandemic just basically sort of pushed me after my mat leave to do what I needed to do, which is move my business online. And so now I have assembled all of that online, and I'm able to coach overworked women everywhere from the comfort of all of our homes, which is where we're spending a lot of our time lately. That's how we got to today.
That's such a great story. Oh my God, 20 months apart. Like I think my uterus cringed there for a second. Like, oh my God, like massive high fives to you. That's amazing. And to do that during lockdown. I totally agree that the fitness element and the habits element, it's so much more integrated, to speak to the name of your brand, than just doing the workouts. And I had this similar experience where I was seeing my clients 3 days a week, but like those 30-minute sessions, it was great while we were there, but then the rest of the week, what do they do? So then, kind of completing this whole picture of what a woman's life is outside of the gym, outside of just their exercise. It's not just what exercises do you do, it's what do we have to do to actually get you to do them consistently and live your life and do great, be great at your job. So we are on the same page, and I want to get cracking. How'd you like my little History Channel summary of New Year's resolutions?
I really love that. I had no idea. So it's really interesting to see like how these things start and how we've adapted them like to our modern society. So really, I found that really interesting. I appreciate you sharing that.
You know what? I love fun facts and I love little bits of trivia. So I was like, why am I not talking about this on my show? So I did a little bit of digging and there we are. So this idea, I feel like it's ingrained in our bones, in our DNA, that like there has to be a starting point or like we need to be able to take infinite or annual do-overs. Because we aren't perfect all the time. So let's pick a time of the year that we can say I'm going to do better. But for so many reasons, January 1st, slap in the middle of winter, is an awful time to set New Year's resolutions. So let's go over these three specific ideas around New Year's resolutions. Why are they destined to fail? What mistakes women and moms make most often, and what can they start doing instead to actually feel more successful in their health and fitness today, like immediately? What can we start doing to change? So what are your thoughts? Let's start with the first one. Why do you think New Year's resolutions are set up for failure from the start?
Did you want to talk about the three things or sort of more broadly? Does it
just start talking.
Generally. So I mean, I think for our particular people, you know, most of us are moms here. Some of us, you know, are busy in other areas of our life and we don't have children, but I think we're all overwhelmed and it never feels like there's a good time to start. That's because there isn't. But somehow in our mind, I think we feel like that is the time because of like our upbringing and our society and whatever. But really, it's no better time to start than any other time. And it can be more difficult, like for those of us who live in North America, like there's darkness. It's sort of a bit of a depressing time of the year. There's like post-Christmas blues. So for a lot of us, you know, we're all together and there's like this togetherness, and then it's this bleak January. So I think that's part of the reason, is that it's seems like a good time, but the truth is that there never is a good time. And if any, it might be a bit more of a challenging time to make a big life change, which is what a lot of the resolutions ultimately that people sort of make involve. Like they don't seem that way, but I do think they require a lot of life changes, and it's not an ideal time to do that.
Yeah, totally. I have this like personal imaginary vendetta against like the marketing industry. Because and it's funny because that's exactly what my husband does, but for different different branch in health and wellness. But you know, with the way marketing works in social media and you know, before the internet, there was like TV ads and you know, mall ads, and everywhere you look. The fitness industry kind of latched on to the idea of New Year's resolutions, however many years ago. And they decided like, this is the time of year people want to lose weight the most. So let's really push our stuff really hard. And now marketing has gotten very clever to the point where they, you know, hire influencers to talk about it. They have really great marketing campaigns that just look like normal posts on your social feed. So you're getting bombarded with these ideas that now's the time to buy a Peloton. Now's the time to get a home gym. Now's the time to start making changes and eating salads. And I'm like, MFR, I do not want to eat something cold and crunchy in December, in January. Like, stop making me eat a salad. Stop trying to get me to eat a salad. And the conflict between what we feel like we should be doing, because we likely just ate a ton of sugar and a ton of food, and feeling like we need to do that whole 180-degree turnaround to start eating healthy, that's really a setup for failure because it's not realistic. So starting with the idea of like things not being realistic, what kind of resolutions do you see people making and why are they bad ideas?
Well, I see a lot of general things, like people are like, I'm going to get fit, or I'm going to start exercising again, or, you know, I'm going to lose 20 pounds this year. And like, if we want to sort of move into the first point, the biggest thing I see is that people aren't really clear on what they want. Like, I'm going to get fit or I'm going to get in shape again is so non-specific, and we're so overloaded, right? Like as moms, like there's like a million things coming at you at any given time. Your hamster's running full speed, you know, or trying to remember if you're out of milk, you know, you're trying to not forget to be where you needed to be at a given time. That like that resolution you set for yourself is so unclear that we're basically set up for failure from the beginning because we don't have a clear target to hit. And that's the biggest mistake I see women making, is that we don't really get clear and specific and have an exact vision of what it is that we want. And without that, like, it's just more noise spinning around in your head. So there's really no chance of reaching your goal.
Right. And it's not our fault either. Like, it's not their fault as women either, because it's not second nature. It's not innate to any particular person, like what that specific goal is, like what it should be, because that's our wheelhouse. That's what you and I do as coaches.
Yeah. And exactly. And I think, you know, this idea of mental load, which you're familiar with, it's something that is only sort of come to light recently, and I don't think it gets enough attention. So it's totally not our fault. Like there's too many things going on up there and it's invisible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's visible to us because we live it every day, but to
Yeah.
the everyone else, it's invisible. So yeah, I mean, definitely not. And how do you even narrow that down? You're absolutely right. Like we need some help from people like us who can sort of dig a little bit below the surface, which is sort of our next point.
Yeah, great segue. Very nice segue. So the next idea is that like not only is it too broad, uh it's not the goal that we're setting is not something that we're personally invested in, at least not on the surface. So talk a little bit
Right.
more about that.
Yeah. And so this is something I'm sure you've learned over the years too. When we start out as coaches, everyone comes to us with what we can sort of identify most easily. I want to lose 10 pounds, or I want, to cut out sugar so I can have a healthier lifestyle. But let's take the cut out sugar, for example. It's really hard to get behind that because sugar tastes good. We like sweet things as humans, like those are part of our taste buds. That's like just part of how we are as a human. And so doing something like that, it's really hard. While we think in theory, this is what I need to do. Why? Like what is below? And so people like us can kind of help get below the surface to like, what's your personal reason for wanting that? Like after I became a mother, my personal reason, I had a really hard time when my kids were small. I became separated, my pelvis also separated, my marriage separated. So it was a difficult time. And the one thing, I knew I was a coach and I could lose the weight after the baby. The one thing I focused on my goals, I knew I needed to be physically and emotionally strong for my children.
Mm-hmm.
So on the surface, it might have been you need to lose the 50 pounds of baby weight. I need to lose the 50 pounds of baby weight. But the personal reason is I want to be strong. I need to be able to lift my children because they're boys and they're heavy and they keep growing. And so if we can get below the surface to something we're personally invested in, that's very different than saying, oh, I need to cut out sugar this year, because there's no deeper reason for that when the sugar is there in front of you, or you're stressed out, or you have one taste of it and it's chemically engineered to make you eat the entire package of cookies. There's no personal reason. And I think when you can get down to at the core of yourself, like what it is, why you want to make the change, like that's what matters, because no matter what you're faced with, you have something deeply personal that you can come back to that means something to you.
Right. That is a really important thing that you hit on, because it's going to be like, in the emotional moments, whenever you're talking to yourself and you're saying, oh, I need to make these changes, right? I need to lose 10 pounds. Or when you step on the scale and you're like, that's not a good number. That's not the moment where you need to have that deep seated understanding or reasoning. It's those moments where you are tired and standing in the kitchen or standing in front of the fridge and you're like, I have to eat something. You have to have that one piece of motivation to pull you away from the decisions and the behaviors that the version of you that you're not trying to be would normally reach for the sugary things, or throw your hands up in the air and quit and be like, Connie failed another diet, let's just eat the Oreos. You have to find that personal investment into why you want to make this change. So
Yeah, but I don't know if you feel the same thing, but also I find as humans, like some of us move away from uncomfortable things, like maybe the sugar, but I think it's much easier for us in the long term, or we're more successful if we move towards something that we want rather than moving away from something undesirable. So if you can really get deep and clear on something that's personal to you that you want for your life, like I think it's overall you're going to be more successful moving towards something than trying to just get away from something that doesn't make you feel good.
I do agree, but it's funny because I think that's the opposite of what people believe, and
Oh
what a
yeah,
lot of our
for sure.
clients believe is that I need to restrict myself because I don't deserve to eat things that
Yeah,
I like, or I
for
don't
sure.
deserve to be happy, or I don't deserve to enjoy this, or feeling like it has to be something that's difficult. Where if you work with a coach like yourself or me, by the way, this is not an entire 30-minute segment on plugging our services. We're
No,
just
no, it's just we have this in common.
yeah, we're just speaking what we know.
Yeah,
What a good coach will tell you is that the path of least resistance is the path that you want to take yourself down, because overloaded, overwhelmed, we already don't have enough time in the day to do the things we want to. We have to figure out how to get um, make the easiest path from point A to point B.
yeah, for sure.
Speaking of, our third point is that these goals that we set for ourselves are too big. And I want to talk a little bit more about what common resolutions sound like, and why setting big ones is not a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with a really common one. Like a lot of people say, I want to lose 10 pounds. It's really hard to lose 10 pounds. I mean, it seems like, oh, everyone can lose 10 pounds because of like the crap we see in the media, or, the images people have of even people like us. People don't realize like that takes years of working at it consistently. That doesn't happen in 12 weeks or 14 weeks, most likely. I mean, it might under our tutelage, but like on our own with our busy life, like it's really, really difficult to do. And so I think we're better off picking something small and achievable and feeling that satisfaction, because the only way we truly change is by taking different actions. And so having a small goal and taking a series of different actions is what actually allows us to have a different experience and change. And so that's so much more powerful than going for the big thing. And so like, instead of lose 10 pounds, my goal might be, I want to drop 1 or 2 pant sizes by April. And then you can come up with a plan to do that. And, when your pants feel better, you'll be like, okay, this is achievable. It's something that like is comfortable for us. And that's much better than always going up and down on the scale indefinitely. And even though you might be making progress, you might not see it. And that's going to feel discouraging. Whereas if you set something smaller and more specific, you feel better, you get a chance to have different experiences, and then you can kind of build on the next thing.
Yeah, you landed on something that's really that's something that comes up a lot when I'm talking to clients or even prospective clients. Two things. One is when I ask what they want, like what would success look like? A lot of moms just say like, I want to fit in my clothes again. That's like saying like, I want to take a 5-minute nap. I want to take a shower uninterrupted. And like the bar, so really like on the grand scheme of things, like the bar is so low as to what we want to feel good again. And the follow-up statement that they tell me is like, I know this isn't what I should be focusing on, because it's vain, but to them it's vain. But like, I just want to fit in my clothes again. And I'm over here like, you're allowed to want to fit in your clothes again. Like that's
You're allowed to want
completely
anything you
valid,
want.
right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, stepping, like, going a little deeper, as as we were just talking about, to say that you want to fit in your clothes again. Why do you want to fit in your clothes again? Because I don't feel like myself when I look in the mirror. I don't feel like myself when I have to wear stretchy pants well, I do, but when someone says like I don't feel like I recognize the person in the mirror or the person that I've become. That's really, really profound. And you've landed on wanting something that's actually measurable.
Yeah.
And that is to fit, to button your pants, to button your blouse, to fit in the clothes that pre-baby you felt really good and confident in. And that is completely 100% valid. So hearing people say like, I know I shouldn't be talking about this, like, you know what? Talk about it. Let's talk about it, because you're not the only person that thinks it. And I think it's okay. Like you're allowed to want nice things for yourself, and you're allowed to want to look good and like what you see in the mirror. Oh, there I go. I go on my soapbox.
No, but it is true. And that's not like, those aren't the images that are like flashed at us as women, right?
No,
So
it's sports bras or bikini before and afters, and like wanting to say like, I feel like All right, I gained 40 pounds when I was pregnant and I lost 20 of those pounds, but I still had 20 pounds, but it was lockdown, so I ate 10 more pounds. And then it was Christmas, so I feel like I ate 5 more pounds. So I feel like I have 35 pounds to lose. And that is wandering into that all or nothing kind of feeling like I have to lose this much weight before
Right.
I feel like myself again. And that's where piecing it into little bits and breaking it down into little um, smaller, achievable, measurable goals can be helpful, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about what the actual steps are that people can start taking. We talked about things not being specific enough, not personally invested in, and them being too big. So, as far as getting more specific on their goals, what's something that they can work on today to help feel like they have a better grasp on what they want to achieve?
Okay, so one thing we can do, it's, I don't know about you, but like definitely as an overloaded mom, I lose all track of time. So
What day is it?
exactly, what year is it even? So is to get really, really specific and put in writing somehow, however you like to write that, a goal. Like, we've heard a lot of us of SMART goals, so something specific, measurable, attainable, realistic time frame. Like that's always a really it's very simple, but it's a really good starting point in that it also forces you to sit down and think about what might work for you. And so that might be look like I will, and you want to use positive affirmative language, not, I want to, or I wish, like I will um drop to a size 12 by April 3rd, 2022. So if you're like a size 14 now, you want to pick something realistic, but you want to be very specific. So if you have a pair of size 12 pants or my size 12 jeans, my favorite size 12 jeans by April 3rd, 2022. So like you want to start with getting very clear and specific about the goals. If you have those jeans, you want to like hang them up where you can see them every day. If that's, your goal. And then you want to pick one small habit to start with that's going to help you get there. And that, like for me, with a lot of my clients, the simplest place, because a lot of us overworked women are super dehydrated, and that impacts everything from our metabolism to our food choices, like the amount of calories we consume in a day. Is, we start with, I will drink, whatever their water consumption is currently, I will drink, X liters or ounces in your case, American friends, first thing in the morning when I wake up before I do anything else. And so I would start with like a very simple habit that will help you achieve that clear thing, nail that, and then move on.
That's so funny that you said water, because like if any of my clients are listening now, they know that the first thing I ask them like every week whenever they call me and they have something that like feels off or they're not having a good week, I ask them, have you been drinking water? And how's your sleep?
Yeah.
Two most basic things. And for a lot of people who just like got through the holiday season, water was probably one of the lowest beverages on the priority list.
Yeah.
Whether it's alcohol or just sugary drinks or caffeinated things. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, making a clear target that makes sense in the time frame. And for anyone who's watching, 1 to 2 pounds a week is a healthy, um, attainable amount of weight to lose. But that's if you're able to commit fully to a healthy lifestyle from the start, healthier nutrition and committing to exercise 3 to 5 days a week. So looking at that and saying like, okay, if I have this many pounds of fat that I want to, work on taking off, looking at it in a 1 to 2 pounds a week at the max. But it's totally doable. It's super duper doable, especially because you're talking about with water. A lot of people are just bloated and they're carrying a lot of extra water weight. And I know that it sounds counterintuitive to drink water if you're bloated, but trust me, it helps. So get a clear target, write it down. Getting it out of your brain is another really good tip, right? Because there's like an ocean full of random thoughts going through there at any given moment, and putting it down like hand to paper really helps clarify what the goal is. Because if anyone else's brain is like mine, you start with one thing and you're like, okay, I'm going to drop a pant size. Wait, but what kind of pants is it? Wait, is it the 7 jeans, or is it the Lululemon pants? Or wait a second, don't I have a gift card laying around somewhere? Oh, did that expire? Wait a minute, did I
Yep.
use it already? You keep wandering in your head. So getting it down on paper and setting that specific target. The next part of this, not personally invested in. How do we get to the root of our why?
I mean, I think sometimes that requires a bit of self-reflection. So one of the things, like if you have a relationship with either one of us or, a coach, like sometimes people like us, just even through a 5-minute conversation can help sort of narrow that thing down as far as asking questions. But if you're sort of on your own, maybe journaling about it can be helpful. Like, why do I want to lose weight? And then you sort of write out bullet points. Okay, so I want to lose weight, because my clothes aren't comfortable. Why aren't they comfortable? How do I want to feel? And so you can sort of get, by going through that exercise yourself, you can get a lot closer to your personally why you would want to invest in whatever plan you're going to do to get your goal, achieve your goal.
Yeah, I agree. I think repeating the question, like, why is that important, in 4, like at least 3 to 4 layers, will help you clarify what that why is. And until you get to that point, you might not even recognize
Exactly.
what that is. And it might be really profound, and you might have an emotional experience. Crying is normal.
Yeah.
So if you're like, I want to lose 5 pounds, all right, why does that matter to me? It's because I feel like my pants don't button anymore and they're my favorite pants. Why does that matter to me? Oh, because I felt really confident in them before I had my baby. Why does that matter to you? Because I don't feel confident about how I look right now. Why does that matter to you? Because it affects every aspect of my life, including my relationship with my partner or with my job.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not doing a good job as a mom. Those are really deep things if you can get down to that point and recognize it, because those are the things that are going to help keep you on the path whenever you feel that urge to throw your hands in the air or to wander off into a bag of potato chips and not come out for 4 days.
Yeah. And I mean, really, at the end of the day, those are the things that hit us, right? Like if something happens related to what is personally important to us, like that's the stuff that really hurts, but we aren't always aware of it. And so just even having that awareness can be really helpful, right? Because we do have an emotional response to that stuff. We just don't always know why.
No, we suppress it with potato chips.
Right. Exactly.
And those things that are innate, again, to you and me and to professional health coaches, that's why having these conversations are really beneficial for people. So I'm sure you have something similar, but if somebody is listening right now and they want to like understand what this why is and help get to their why, I do offer free strategy sessions, like completely like no sales pressure, no nothing, just like let's have a conversation. So if you're interested in having that conversation with me or Amanda, please like let us know in the comments or reach out in a message. We like talking about this stuff.
Well, yeah, we're always here to help.
Yeah. Okay, so getting to the real why, ask yourself, why is this important, until you get to an emotional pain point, because it's got to be those pain points if something's not right. And now the third idea is that the goal is too big. So I think one of the first things we could do is to like really get honest with yourself and what you can handle. With the capacity that you have as far as like time, logistics, finances, investments, all that stuff, whatever's available. What's going on with COVID is a big factor on like your ability to actually facilitate change. What do you think on managing goals that are too big?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, is that like, especially in these times, there's so much uncertainty. And at the end of the day, really, the only thing, no matter how much you love your kids or your partner or your friends or your family, like the only thing that's in your control is your own actions. And so I think picking something that is within your control right now, that is small enough, is a good place to start. It doesn't mean you might not have the lose 10 pounds goal maybe by the end of the year, but starting with something now that is smaller is going to help you feel good, and it's going to help you get some results, because you can pick something that's tangible that will move you towards that. And I think that's the place to start right now when we're all super overwhelmed. And that might be, like, if I use my pant size example, might be I will be in the size 12 pants by April 3rd.
Right.
So that's what I think, given everything that's going on. And then you can really like focus on something small, achievable, that's for you. Because I saw this great, I obviously, being a habits coach, I pay attention to this stuff. I saw this amazing post from one of, our fellow colleagues that says it takes 30 days to establish a habit, but that's a habit you can use for 30 years.
Oh, I like
And
it.
I was like, you got that right. 10 points for you. Because really, like, if you talk about this being sustainable, it's our daily actions that really add up to our results over time. And we often give up before we see that progress because we're focused on the big thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I always think, I'm biased because I'm a habits coach, but I see it, and I get my overloaded clients to live it in doing these small habits. And that is how, we achieve change.
Totally. Yeah, definitely. James Clear. I wish we could like be best friends and get him on this call today, because he's like the master of habits. But yeah, I think to add on to your point is to recognize whenever you have this impulse to go into your all or nothing mentality, and be like, because I think a lot of us is going to be a lot of people listening are like, yo, coach, I got like 50 pounds to lose. I got like 100 pounds to lose. And you're telling me to drink water. Like, I'm not paying you money to tell me to do that. But the truth is, we can't lose 100 pounds in 12 weeks. We can't do so much change like they do on The Biggest Loser, because they literally commit their entire life from morning till night on weight loss, on exercise, on nutrition, on more exercise. We have to fit in what we can manage while we're also doing parenting, while we're being a partner, a spouse, a sibling, all these other roles that we have. So checking yourself whenever you say like, oh, this is not going to get me to lose 30 pounds. Like, I have so much more to do. And stopping that all or nothing mentality and allowing yourself to say, this is enough. Focusing on my water is enough. Because once you do that, other things start to fall into place. Once you pay attention to your water, you're going to stop again before you reach for a Coca-Cola or something else. And then other things are going to start to kind of snowball. You're like, oh,
and you
know
need
what?
to give that time, right? You need to do it every day. You need to give it time.
Exactly. And let yourself take the win, right? Dude, that too is accept the win. Like, you hit your water goal today. Great freaking job. Like, give yourself credit for that, and don't beat yourself up because you should be doing more. There's more to do. You got to let yourself win and feel good about the decisions that you're making. Again, I could go on a soapbox. I could stand up, talk about this for another hour, but I want to give people these a couple actionable tips. So getting honest with what you think you can handle, pick something small. And again, if you're like, Connie, Amanda, I don't even know where the heck to start, this is where having a conversation with us could be beneficial, right?
Yeah.
Because what we do is we offer these discovery calls, these sessions where we just talk with you and listen to what's going on in your life and see if there's an opportunity for you to start making small changes. And then if you decide that we're delightful and you want to hang out with us a lot and work with us, then we have that conversation. But at the end of the day, we just want to hear what's going on and see if there's an immediate solution that can help you start feeling better. So, Amanda, if someone does want to get in touch with you, how can they find you on the internet or any other, if they're driving to Ottawa, I guess?
Maybe the easiest thing, if you're looking for support, I could maybe leave a link to my Facebook group.
Sure.
And in there, we're working on putting up different ways you can contact me, like if you want to book a call with me or whatnot. But I don't have any coaching spots open just at the moment until spring, but it's a really great place for overloaded women who work either inside or outside the home to sort of just get support, ideas for nutrition, like high protein snacks. Just a really supportive space. So I can leave you a link for my group after, if you would like, Connie. And also Connie will be joining me in my group. So if you miss Connie and would like more of Connie, we'll be chatting next week on Connie's really personal journey to how she has been successful in her self-care. And, you guys have all seen a little bit of that on social media. I found it so inspiring because I know how hard it is. And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing more about your journey. So we do those sorts of things in our group.
Absolutely.
That's helpful.
Yeah, I can't wait to share my story. So find Amanda, join her group. She's also Fit Integrated on Instagram.
Yep.
And also, if you're not already in the group watching now, you can join the Strong as a Mother, Happy and Healthy Living group. There's really an abundance of resources and places where you can feel supported. Me and Amanda, we both understand that there's no competing for clients. There's plenty of people that need help, and it's important that whoever we work with feels comfortable with us. So even if you don't feel like I'm your cup of tea, maybe Amanda's that person you've been looking for, and vice versa. So no matter what, ultimately at the end of the day, we're here to help as many people as we can. So, Amanda, any final words or thoughts that you want to share about our New Year's resolutions? Did you make a New Year's resolution?
No.
Good media.
I sort of set a goal before the holidays, and my children were home for a number of weeks. So I have my own online coach. And we work to pare that down to something more reasonable because it's like, Patrick, I don't know where my kids are going back to school. So I don't even remember what you had asked me. What was the question? My final word.
That's a mom moment right there. I don't know what else is.
Yeah.
No, but just wrapping up.
Yeah, I guess just final words is, just I wanted to echo what you said, Connie, where Connie and I are both here to help people, like overloaded people like ourselves. And if we aren't even the people who can help you, we have a really great network of resources. I know even within your own group, Connie, you have women who can help. We have like this huge network of coaches online. So if you have something specific, Connie and I both really firmly believe in just helping people, and that there is an abundance of information, just trying to help you find the right fit for exactly what you need, even if that is not with us. So if you do want help or don't know where to start, like, feel free to reach out to either of us, because that's part of what fills our cup too, right, Connie?
Yes. Oh my God, that's so good. Yes. Cheers to that. That's brilliant. Excellent conversation today. Fills the cup, man. I'm going to use that in some ad copy. So thanks again, Amanda. I am always so grateful of having conversations and for you sharing your time with us and your expertise. So in conclusion, thank you all for joining us in the conversation. Let's keep it going. If you listened to this and had thoughts, please share it in the comments. Please reach out to us if you have questions or just want to chat. Again, this is what we do for a living. We just love talking to people. And I think we can all move forward with a little bit more clear understanding of the role New Year's resolutions play, whether they are complete BS or if there's something to benefit from it. So until next time, stay strong, stay caffeinated or decaffeinated, at least hydrated, and we will see you again on Coffee Talk Live. Take care, everyone.
And looking forward to our chat next week too, Connie.
Yeah, see you soon.
Bye.